again for the second time tonight. It appears I had some audio difficulties earlier that did not allow the audio to come through right. So, once again, gosh, and I was on fire, you guys. I was on fire tonight. Well, let's do it again. I'm still on fire. All right, my name is Jeremy Deysach. For those of you who do not know who I am, my name is Jeremy Deysach. I am what's known as a FICO certified credit coach. Okay. What that means is I'm certified. I'm actually trained in the math formula, the algorithm that creates your FICO score, your lending score with the banks. One thing I'm going to ask you to do is as you log in, drop some chat. Let me know if you can hear me this time, because apparently last time wasn't so good. I hit a button and the signal seems to be better. So we're going to, here's to hoping that it works out good. But anyway, I'm a FICO certified credit coach. I'm certified in the FICO algorithm, the math formula that makes your credit score, your lending score, the score that's used to determine if you're going to get a house or not, or a car or not, or a credit card or not, or any of these other things. So I am a FICO certified credit coach. I work with a company called Credilife. Now, Credilife sponsors the free credit repair advice group for 70,000 people. That's why we are able to do what we do every day. Without sponsorship, we couldn't have professional coaches in here, FICO certified coaches, spending time during a work day doing something like this. So awesome. Thumbs up to Credilife for doing that. So I'm the founder of the Free Credit Repair Advice Group. I started this group with the idea that credit education should be for everybody, okay? Obviously, Jeremy, but you have paid services. Yeah, if you want us to do the work, you can pay us, but the knowledge on what to do and the ability to do it should be there for everybody. And this is a class you were never taught in school. This is a class we wish our parents had taught us exactly what to do with this stuff, but in their defense, they likely didn't understand either. So tonight, I'm going to talk about how to repair your credit from top to bottom, all the way through. I'll give you a foreshadowing. So we'll talk about credit report. We'll talk about your legal rights when it comes to what's on your credit report. We will talk about the process of investigation and dispute letters. We'll talk about some credit building, then I'll wrap it up and I'll answer questions. There, I always believe you're supposed to introduce yourself, tell them what you're going to tell them, tell them what you told them, and then wrap it up. So, what's a credit report? What is a credit report? Who knows what a credit report is, you guys? Give me some number ones in chat if you think you know what a credit report is. What a credit report is, it is a written history of your willingness and your ability to repay on lent money and debt owed in a timely fashion. That's all. It's a pain in the ass, Tim says. Tim is spot on. A credit report is basically it's your report card. Did you do well in school? It shows on your report card. Did you do well with your finances? It shows on your credit report. And a lot of times this isn't due to your own thing. No one I personally know begged for a global pandemic. No one's begged for job loss. No one's begged for health issues. This stuff just happens. And so your credit report might be bad in spite of it, in spite of yourself and your best efforts. But the thing is, this credit report exists, and it's used for everything these days, not just big stuff, not just, I want to buy a house, I'm going to have a credit report, right? It's used for background checks for jobs. It's used for determining your insurance rates. The higher your score, the lower your insurance rate on your car, right? It's used for military security clearance. It's used to see if you can rent an apartment. It's used for way more stuff than it was ever intended or designed for. So, a credit report is kind of important. It's important for you to know what's there and for you to understand what to do about it, okay? So, if we're going to talk about repairing our credit, the first thing we need to do is get our hands on a credit report. Yeah, the insurance rate one, Tim, is kind of like a scam. Tim, you and I could be standing in a car dealership, right next to each other. We could be the same age. We could live in the same zip code, same gender. We could have the same education. We could be putting the same amount of money down on the same car, right? And when we go to insure that, and we could have the same driving history, right? We could have the same driving history. Both of us got in 2 car accidents and had 3 speeding tickets and 1 parking ticket, right? We got the same history. Now, because our credit scores are different, however, if mine is lower and yours is higher, I'm paying more for my insurance. I'm paying way more on that interest rate for the same vehicle, same demographics and stuff like that. It's a tough deal. But you know and I know, some insurance actuary figured out a marked correlation between people's credit scores and paying out on claims, right? They figured that out. They're not doing it to penalize you. They're doing it because they want to make money. So, I'm chewing my mint. Mint break. Anyone needs a mint? Quick, have a mint. Never say no to a mint, by the way, like a breath mint. Never decline a breath mint, because usually there's a reason someone's offering you one. All right. So we've got 3 credit bureaus out there. Bureau, it sounds fancy, like the Federal Bureau of Investigation, the FBI. They're a bureau, okay? We have 3 credit bureaus: Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. Now, these are private companies. They're not the Federal Bureau of Squat, okay? They're private companies. These 3 companies, they're competitors. They're not working together. They're not following what each other does. They don't have to follow. If something happens on one, the others don't have to do it. They've got no obligation. There are 3 for-profit companies. It's Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. Those are the 3. It's like Nike, Reebok, and Adidas. Same thing. For-profit private companies, okay? And what their company does is takes in your data and charges people to report it to them. And then what they do is they turn around and they sell your data. And they charge people to get it. So they charge to report and they charge to give it out. I'll get into Lexis in a bit. LexisNexis is basically a repository of things like public records and stuff like that. And it's overemphasized by people who don't know what they're talking about in credit repair, quite frankly. I know there's no cool way to say what I just said. But the less people know about it, the more they hang their hats on Lexis, SageStream, and those other, fourth-party super secret things. There's a time and a place for working with Lexis. When you're getting started, though, that's not the time or the place. There's only when you have some public records and stuff. Yeah, don't get me wrong. It's It's a good enough topic. I'll do one of my lives in the future here on a Wednesday on it. I'll definitely do a live on Lexis and the super secret background credit bureaus, or the background data bureaus. So we got 3 bureaus: Equifax, Experian, TransUnion. They charge people to report your info to them. So if I want to give info to Equifax, I got to pay them. It's not even my info, it's your info. And then if I want to pull a credit report, I want to get your info from Equifax, I got to pay them. It's a good idea. Man, I wish I could have come up with that scam where I pay, or I get money when they tell me, and then I get money when I tell them the same thing. That's fantastic. Bless their hearts. All right. 3 bureaus: Equifax, Experian, TransUnion. They are private, for-profit companies. They are mercenaries. They are not missionaries, and you are never their customer. What do you mean, Jeremy? I've got Experian credit monitoring. You are not their customer. You are their fricking product. They are getting paid to grab your data by the people who are reporting it, your credit card company, your mortgage company, a collection agency. They get paid for, give me the data, and give me the money, give me the money. You want to give me the data? You have to give me the money. That's how it works. And then they get paid to give it back out. So Capital One could report you late. Ooh, Capital One, you want to report Tim 30 days late? Give me some money. And then Tim applies for another thing at Capital One, and Capital One goes, hey, how's Tim doing? And they go, I'd love to tell you, but you got to give me some, more money. Here's Tim's info. It is mind-blowing, okay? Now, the bureaus, they keep the information on Tim, on you, Matrice, who just joined us. They keep the info on Matrice. They keep it on me. They keep it on the guy over there at Jersey Mike Subs. It's not Danny DeVito from the commercials. It's just some dude out smoking a cigarette. But they keep the info on all of us. They keep the info on 350 million people in the United States. 3 bureaus. So what's 3 times 350 million? Let's get this more interestingly. So the average credit report gets data. So my report, Matrice's report, Tim's report, they get data from on average 20 different sources reporting per month. So that's 20 times 350 million people, okay, times 3 bureaus, pieces of data circulating every month. And next month they're getting another 3 times 350 million times 20. If they wanted to, if they were compelled to, if someone held a gun to their head and said, dude, you have to verify data. If they wanted to verify just 1% of that data, just 1%, they would have to have, each bureau would have to employ hundreds of thousands of dollars, or pardon me, not dollars, millions of dollars. They need hundreds of thousands of employees, and I've done the calculations before based on some averages and workloads and stuff. A credit report, to buy your credit report, would cost $55,000. That's not feasible. That isn't feasible. That's not attainable. It's not even realistic to expect. Okay? So how much data do you think they verify every month? All this data that's being told about you, right, wrong, or otherwise, how much data do you think is verified each month? Drop it in chat if you guys think you know. I'm going to take a sip of a Monster. All right, have y'all locked in your answers? 0. 350 million times 20 times 3 bureaus. That much data coming in, and they verify 0. Nothing. Yeah, you got it, Tim. None. Nothing. Not a lick. Not a single thing is verified. They simply publish whatever they're paid to publish, be it right or wrong, right? And then major life decisions are made about you from that data. Like, can you get a job? Can you get paid for the info? Exactly. They were paid to take the info. You're spot on, brother. You're spot on. This unverified data is used to determine your background check for a job, your background check for a security clearance, to determine if you can get an apartment, if you can get a car, if you can get insurance, how much you're going to pay for your insurance. It's used for all this major stuff. You could have bad enough credit that you cannot get a place to live, house or apartment. You could not get a vehicle to get to work, and you can't get a job even if you had it. I've worked with lots of people who are living in those long-term hotels, and they're stuck. And I've got them out of that situation. It's part of what I do for a living. So the bureaus, Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion, are the world's largest repository of unverified data. There is no other place on earth that has more unverified data than the credit bureaus. Kind of an interesting piece of trivia. Now, that wouldn't be a big deal. It wouldn't be a big deal. Man, I don't give a crap what someone says about me as long as it's not used for anything. So it's not a big deal that the data at the credit bureaus isn't verified as long as credit's never used for anything. Welcome, Sandra. So the problem is all the data on your credit report's unverified, and credit's used for damn near everything these days, and not just credit cards and not just loans. Again, it's used for housing background checks, employment background checks, security clearance, if you're military, security clearance, your insurance rates, all of this. Where do they go to check you out, to make sure you're legit, to make sure you're a safe risk, to make sure you're good to work with? They go to the single largest repository of unverified data on the planet, the credit bureaus. Now I'm going to ask you all, this is going to be audience participation, okay? I'm going to ask you all, major life things are being, job, insurance prices, can you get a vehicle, can you get a background check to get an apartment? Major life things are being determined about you, and where they're being determined about you from is the world's largest pile of unverified data. Now tell me in chat, you guys and gals, and I'm bad with pronouns. Tell me in chat if you think that's fair. Yes or no? Yes or no? Is that fair? Yes or no? I'll tell you something. Tim, if I wrote something nasty about you and paid the Wall Street Journal Sandra spot on, and I paid the Wall Street Journal to publish it, I said, Tim is a kleptomaniac and he steals lip smacker flavored lip balms. And you don't trust him around your lip balm. And you're going, what the hell? Jeremy just said I'm a thief and I steal lip smacker. It is delicious, don't get me wrong. That I steal lip smacker lip balm. And you put that in the freaking newspaper. What would you do? You'd sue my pants. Well, aside from the lip balm thing being funny, you'd sue the crap out of me. That's like slander, right? I'm printing, I'm putting out there into the universe unverified data, and people are going, man, I'm not going to do anything with that dude. He's got some lip balm smacker fetish. Weird. I don't know what he's got going on, but I heard he steals them. Chapstick. Oh, man. I was going to go Burt's Beeswax, that pomegranate one. That stuff is delicious. I realize I'm telling you basically that I eat chapstick, but that's not the point of tonight's video. That's probably a whole different video in a therapy session. All right, so where did they check you out? The world's largest repository of unverified data. Dispute it. That's where we're heading. That's where we're heading. So, because you being judged on unverified data is not fair, Congress agreed to the point that they made a law to protect us as consumers. They use fair in the law. It's called the Fair Credit Reporting Act. Fair Credit Reporting Act, the FCRA. The FCRA, it allows us to do a few things, but I'm going to oversimplify the main thing it lets us do. It lets us go to Equifax and Experian and TransUnion and say, hey guys, with all due respect, prove it. Prove it's me. Prove I was late. Prove that's the balance. Prove I had a foreclosure. Prove that I'm in collections. Prove it's mine. Prove the account number. Prove it, prove it, prove it, prove it, prove it. And if upon demand the credit bureaus cannot verify and validate and document, hey Kayla, if the bureaus can't verify, validate, and document that everything they're publishing is 100% accurate and factual and correct and current and verifiable today, not back 7 months ago when it was reported, but today, if they can't verify that it's still accurate today, then by law, it has to be deleted, gone from the credit report like it never happened. Okay. Now, it doesn't mean debt's gone. Debt and credit are two different things. Debt's the money you owe somebody. Credit reporting is your published history of your willingness and ability to repay in a timely fashion. They always come back and say it's verified for you. That's because you haven't had enough talking with me yet on this. I will teach you, Padawan. All right. You haven't. Also a Star Wars nerd. Could be worse. It could be Star Trek. So what we're going to do is we're going to, as Tim said, dispute it. I don't dispute, though. I don't dispute, because disputing it is really easy to have them come back and say, it's yours. Why? Because you're disputing. Essentially, you're saying, prove it's mine. They're like, well, we got your name and social. Well, that's pretty good proof. You know? So we're not saying it's not yours. We're not claiming I'm not saying it's not mine. What I'm saying is, under the Fair Credit Reporting Act, you have a legal obligation that upon demand, you must prove it. You must prove it or you must remove it. Prove it or remove it. Prove it or remove it. It's like if the glove does not fit, you must acquit. And by the way, prove it or remove it. Prove it or remove it. And if they cannot verify and validate and document that everything's 100% accurate, factual, current, correct, and verifiable today upon demand, the minute aspect that we're asking about, then by law, it's permanently deleted, gone from the credit report. They can never do it again. Now, I want you to get a good credit report to work from. You have two options. One is free, the other you pay for. And they're the two I recommend. One is free, the other you pay for. You choose. I'll tell you what I would do professionally, but you choose. Number one, if you Google free annual credit report, You're entitled to one free Equifax, one free Experian, and one free TransUnion report annually, as the name says, free annual credit report. The thing is, it's going to be 3 different reports in 3 completely different styles, and so the Equifax one is often hundreds of pages long. And it's got all the data that they're holding on you. But it's not going to have something. When you go to the top of the page, you go, oh, cool, what's my score? It's not going to have the score. But it's my score, I'm entitled to my score. You're not entitled to your score. Your score is the result of the FICO algorithm, which is a mathematical proprietary formula that's being applied to the data to spit out a score, a risk rating to determine if it's a good idea to lend to you. And you are not entitled to that because you haven't paid the licensing on it, essentially. They don't owe you the score, they just owe you the data. Okay? Now, when you do get these reports, I want you to save them and I want you to print them old school onto paper. Okay? And you're going to have 3 different things that you got to go through. And they're laid out in different ways and they're kind of a tough read. Okay? But it's free. You get what you pay for, but it's free. That's your free annual credit. If you don't have a lot of money in your pocket or money in your pocket right now to spend on this project of fixing your credit, then do free annual credit. Okay? The second one I recommend is a paid credit monitoring service. What's credit monitoring? Credit monitoring allows you to track your credit, changes, ups, down, everything, okay? There are a million credit monitoring services out there. Some of them are clickbait garbage like Credit Karma, which only gives you a portion of 2 of the accounts, and they sell your data worse than the bureaus do. Up to the nicer Rolls-Royce paid ones. The one I'm going to recommend to you is the one I use personally, the one my wife who's in banking uses personally, and the one we personally use and require for all of our clients who hire us professionally at Credilife. But I'll tell you what it is and give you access. It's called My 800, the number, credit, CREDIT.com, my800credit.com, my800credit.com. It costs $21.99 a month to subscribe to it. You get a 3-bureau credit report, Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion, each and every month without a hit, without an inquiry, without a negative hit on your credit. Okay? It's got $1 million identity theft protection, which is important when you're doing credit repair because you're mailing things like your social security number off in the mailbox to people. So you might want to have identity theft protection during it. And I'll tell you what, if you want to do it just once to get your letters and then worry about it later, sign up, pay $21.99, print the thing out, and then cancel. I don't care. Like I said, I don't own the damn thing. But it's the best out there. Here's why. It's going to be of all 3 bureaus in a nice side-by-side, uniform way on each page. So every account, it'll be like Capital One, Equifax, Experian, TransUnion. The data will all be side by side. You can see if it's different. On top of it, though, the reason we use it professionally, out of all the credit monitoring out there, it's the most robust. There are 27 different aspects of every account that can be verified and validated and documented. Things like the data last activity, things like the account number, or the things like the balance. There's 27 total. Out of all the credit monitoring out there, the only one I've found that has all 27 in that price range, because the other ones are higher. The only one I found that consistently gives you all 27 is my800credit.com. So if you want to be, I don't sugarcoat. If you want to be smart about it, keep credit monitoring the whole time you're working on your credit repair. Otherwise, you'll have no idea what's going on. If you want to be smart about it, keep it all that time. If you don't have a bunch of money or you can't afford it, but you've got a little money, do it. Just get it once and cancel it. I don't care. It's like I said, I don't care if you cancel. It's not going to hurt my feelings. Do whatever fits your budget. But lean towards the better tools. So this is good, better, best. Good, free annual. You'll have the data. Better, the my800credit.com, but you only buy it once for $22 or $21.99, right? Like there's a difference, for $22, and you print it out, but at least you've got the data in a real concise fashion. You can learn it. Okay. And then best is obviously to keep credit monitoring open throughout your process. So I've given you everything from free to pay. You choose, you all. You choose. I don't care which one you do, but I do care that you do one of those things. So that's my800credit.com or free annual credit report. Or pull your free annual credit report, take a look, decide if you want to work with it. I would say you're nuts if you do. And then if you don't like how it looks or you're like, yikes, get the other one. Again, I don't own any of these. This is entirely up to you. I'm just teaching. Okay, so I said print out your free annual or print out the nice, concise, shorter, easy to work with one from my800credit.com. Then you're going to take a highlighter, the old yellow thing that you used to put in books, and if you had black lights in your dorm in college, y'all had parties, you learned what you could do with all the highlighters and them glowing, and we would call them highlighter parties. You put it on your skin, it glows. It's fantastic. I want you to go through it with the highlighter. I want you to familiarize yourself with this, you guys. This is your data. This is major life decisions being made about you. It might be good to learn what we're talking about here. Translation is really a good idea to learn it. So go through and you're going to highlight everything that is wrong, first of all. Anything that's wrong. Anything that's outdated. Okay? Anything you don't recognize. Like, man, what is that? Or anything negative. Yeah, it might hurt a little bit, but I tell you what, it's a lot less painful to pull like my 800 credit and look at it and see it than it is to be standing in the dealership in front of somebody and have or my favorite's the walk of shame. When you apply for a credit card in the store because the clerk told you you get 10% off, and then they hand you that little slip of paper. They're like, "Ooh, here." And the little slip of paper says, "Oh, it'll take more time. You'll hear in 7 to 10 days." And everybody knows what that means. It means you're declined, and you literally have to do the walk of shame away from the register. A lot less painful to do this in the privacy of your own home. Okay. So you're going to go through. You're going to identify everything wrong, everything outdated, everything questionable, everything you don't recognize, and then you're going to highlight everything negative, every 30-day late, every 60-day late, every 90-day, every collection, every RF, which is a repossession, every FC, which is a foreclosure, every collection, every public record. Oh, you're going to highlight it all. Scribble, 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 right? Then you're done. No, you're not. You're just starting. After this thing is highlighted, whether you got the 3 piles because you did free annual or you did the concise neat because you did my800credit.com, you're going to look through it. Now, everything you've highlighted is about to be the subject of our investigation letters, our investigations. Okay? Does everyone follow me so far? So we've talked about what the bureaus are. We've talked about getting the report, identifying the negatives. Is everybody, use the comments, let me know, is everybody, because I can see the comments scroll as I'm talking to you. Everyone let me know if you're with me so far, if this all makes sense to you, okay? I won't take another sip while y'all type. And for those of you playing along at home, I'm in the central time zone, so yeah, like 8 at night, I'm still drinking Monsters. Welcome to my life. All right, so we've got our report. We've identified the things that are negatives. Awesome. Sandra, perfect. We've identified the negatives. We've identified the wrong things. We've identified something that's not ours. Tim, perfect. And now, Kayla, awesome. Now the next step is we're going to do something about it, okay? So remember, backing up, I said prove it or remove it. You've got the legal right to make the bureaus, Equifax, Experian, TransUnion, verify, validate, and document that everything you ask them about is 100% accurate, factual, current, correct, and verifiable as of today. Not back when they put it, but today. All right. So how are we going to dispute or investigate? Those terms are used interchangeable. Yes, absolutely you can, Sandra. I'm going to save it and I'll re-upload it. I'll also upload it on credittv.com, on YouTube, or you can follow me on TikTok, Coach Jeremy. I think it's either Coach Jeremy or Credit Coach. I think it's Credit Coach Jeremy on TikTok. I have a TikTok channel because I've got 5 daughters, and they told me I'm supposed to have a TikTok channel. I used to have hair. I had hair. Oh, God, I had great freaking hair. God, did I have good hair. And then I had teenage daughters. Took care of it right there. I got braces though recently. See, never too old to get braces. That was my 50th birthday present to myself. All right, so yes, you can rewatch it. The videos will be on TikTok, and also it'll be in the Free Credit Repair Advice Group. Free Credit Repair Advice Group is really your central hub. You've got not just me. There are other FICO certified credit coaches in there that work with me and stuff like that. We answer your questions for free. So yeah, all this stuff's going to be available to you. But I encourage you, if you're in the Free Credit Repair Advice Group, when you're done with this, to go to the up to the media section of the group up at the top where it's got like photos and videos. If you go in the videos there, you're going to find a virtual treasure trove. You're going to find a whole lot of stuff. I keep all these videos. And also I do this every Wednesday night at 8 Eastern, 7 Central, 6 Mountain, and 5 Pacific time. So I do different topics all the time. Always tune in. I can walk you through this. All right, we back up. We're going to make some letters to investigate, to dispute. Now, there's different ways to dispute or investigate, and the terms are used interchangeably. Most people say dispute. I want you to get dispute out of your mind, even though you may see the phraseology some places. And I want you to start thinking investigate. You're going to investigate something that you don't agree with, but you're not going to dispute something that's yours. Does that make sense? I think that makes sense. That makes sense. Does it? All right. So you may have Credit Karma right now. By the way, cancel the goddamn thing. It's clickbait. It only gives you part of 2 bureaus, and it's going to give you a headache. You'll get scoreanxiety, where you're watching your score go up and down. You freak out because they tell you stuff is changing even when things don't change to get you in there so that you click on one of their offers that we think would be perfect for you. By the way, their offers that they think would be perfect for you have nothing to do with your credit score or your ability to qualify for the offers. It's clickbait. They get paid per click. Don't be the person who falls for that. All you'll end up with is inquiries and a bunch of denials, and you'll feel bad about yourself. All right. On online credit monitoring, on even my800credit.com, even on there, you can dispute online. Or you can go right on what you'll get this offer when you go and if you do free annual, you'll get the offer to dispute right on Equifax, right on Experian, right on TransUnion. Doesn't that sound convenient? One click disputing, doesn't that sound convenient? That's easy and cheaper and faster for you, right? Do you feel that something more is coming? That's because it is. All right. When you dispute online, you give up close to 2/3 of your consumer rights. For example, if you send a letter to investigate or dispute, my FICO is equally bad. I call it, in the industry, we call it my FICO. Because what they're showing you aren't your real FICO scores. They're not your lending scores. They're consumer-facing disclosure scores of those versions. Every version of FICO has about 20 different scorecards to it. Buckets, some people call them. It's like a filter. It's filtering the data. Because, like, for example, let's say everyone's looking at FICO 8 today. Everyone decides that version 8 of FICO is the best FICO ever, and that's the FICO they want. And your mortgage lender they don't use that one, by the way, nor does your car. But mortgage lender is going to look at it and go, I want data. Car lender is going to look at it and say, I want data. Credit card is going to look at it and say, I want data. And car company is not going to care how you have paid your credit cards as much as they care how you've paid your car and your other installment loans, right? So they're going to weigh that more heavily. Credit cards don't give a crap if you're late on your car, as long as you've kept up to your obligations of at least your minimum payments on the credit cards. And mortgage wants everything. So within every version of FICO, and versions of FICO are like versions of Windows, Windows 95, Windows 98, Windows ME. They keep coming out with a different version. The Apple, the iPhone 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, they just keep coming out with a different version of the same thing. But some people still use their iPhone 6, right? It didn't go away. Some people still use it. Other people have upgraded. Just like banks. Some banks still use older versions of FICO. Others have paid to upgrade. So my FICO is going to show you a consumer-facing, which is one of the filters. It's not the filter the car company gets. It's not the filter the insurance company pulls. It's not the filter the mortgage company pulls. It's not so it's not your lending score. It's a consumer disclosure version. So even when you pay $39.99 a month to get your FICO score, it's not your lending FICO score. So basically, if you printed my FICO out, that and an origami class would let you make a little swan, a little fold paper swan. That's about as good as my face. And the thing is, if you're going to go for data, I just showed you one that was $21.99 a month. And they have scores on it too, by the way. My100credit.com. They use Vantage scores, which is a totally different style of scoring, and that's something I'll do in a different video. So the scoring you get as a consumer, remember, you're never their customer. The scoring you get as a consumer is always going to be consumer facing. But I'm going to tell you a dirty little secret about credit. I don't give a crap what your score is. As a credit coach, a FICO certified credit coach, if you come to me, I don't give a crap what your score is. I don't give a crap what you want your score to be. But Jeremy, that sounds horrible. No, I care about your goal. And then I care about your credit profile, the nuts and bolts in the report that make up the report. Because if I get those in order, the score is just a derivative of the good profile. And I've been doing this long enough. I've looked at hundreds of thousands of credit reports, in the 28 years I've been doing this. And so I can tell you, like, here's where you are, here's where you need to be. I'm using it. Can I really get my real lending score? You have to apply for credit to get your real lending score. So it's a double-edged sword. They used to not give it to you, by the way. Sometimes you'd have a mortgage lender who's like a buddy who'd like slip it over so you could look at it, but they used to not give it. They kept it as like a proprietary secret. Now at least some of these people will give you your lending score when you apply, but you still have to apply to get the real score. But I'll tell you some I'm full of bad news. So here's some bad news. The inquiry that happened to get you your credit score is then going to go on your credit and drop you 5 to 15 points. So immediately when you look at it, it's already outdated and you're already lower. Ain't that a kick in the somethings? All right, let me get back. Online disputing. Never dispute online. You give up 2/3 of your consumer rights, okay? If you send a letter to Equifax or Experian and TransUnion and say prove it, they're required by law to send you written results. If you dispute online, you forever give those up. You don't just give them up for that, but if you send letters later, you can only get digital results. Real easy to use for court, right? No. I'll slap the person who made credit up. Here's the thing. It's a necessary evil because banks, you got to admit, banks do need a way to determine if it's a good idea or a bad idea to issue money out so that we don't destroy our own economy worse than we already have. You know what I mean? So they need something. So they came up with the perfect imperfect system, if that makes sense. So if you dispute or you investigate online, you give up a right to written results. Here's something nasty. If you dispute or investigate through a letter and something gets deleted because it was unverifiable, it's gone forever. They can't re-add it to your credit report. In fact, they'd stand a very strong fine in a consumer rights court if they put it back on your credit. But if you dispute online, you have given up the right to not having it re-added. So what happens is it goes away, and then the next month when Discover reports again, oh, son of a gun, it's back. All you did was suppress it. Those are two of the rights you give up. There's a lot more, but those two right there are reason enough to never do an online dispute. All right. Let's see. Tim, yeah, it's true for them to tell me my score, and then it's already outdated. Same second they give it to me is, whoops, I hit see more. I guess I don't get to see more. Yeah, it's crazy, though. I'm assuming you were going down the road of that's absolutely nuts. And if so, you're right. All right, so I've told you we don't want to do this online. So what I'm getting at is the way we're going to investigate with the bureaus is paper. Old school, snail mail, paper letters. Think of it this way. We're trying to paper trail this in case we have to kind of flex them, right? So what should we use to paper trail it? How about paper? I am an absolute master of the obvious. All right, and you are too. So what we're going to do is we're going to write letters, old school snail mail paper letters, to Equifax, to Experian, and TransUnion. You're going to go after everything that you're questioning in all in one letter. Like, if you've got 5 bad accounts at Equifax, you're not going to send 5 letters. You're going to send one letter that lists all 5 things, all 5 accounts. Discover, Capital One, Collection with Midland, whatever. So one letter will go to Equifax, one letter will go to Experian, one letter will go to TransUnion, okay? And when these letters are sent, the bureaus get them, and they've got 5 business days to notify all the creditors in question that they must provide verification, validation, documentation that everything's accurate, factual, current, correct, and verifiable as of today. Once the creditor, like Capital One, Discover, Midland, Collections, whoever, once the creditor gets that demand from the bureau for the info, they have 30 calendar days to respond back to the bureau. Not to you, because you didn't ask them. The bureau asked them. You asked the bureau. They got 30 days, 30 calendar days to respond back to the bureaus with the verification, validation, documentation that's accurate, factual, current, correct, and verifiable as of today. Now, if they fail to respond within 30 days or less, if they fail to respond at all, or if what they respond with doesn't satisfy the specific nature, the minutia of the one of 27 different aspects that correspond with dispute codes at the bureaus, then the bureaus make a determination, and by law that information is permanently deleted, gone from the credit report like it never happened. And it is not legal or lawful for that original creditor to put it back on, for that credit collection company to put it back on, okay? Now, the bureaus are going to send you result letters because you were smart and did this in paper. And those, they get about 7 to 10 days with the mailing time and stuff to do that. And you're going to get 3 letters, one from Equifax, one from Experian, one from TransUnion. They're going to look like junk mail. They are going to look totally like junk mail. They're not. They're very important mail, and you don't know what's in them. So you must check your mail. You must open them. You must look at them. You must work with them. Great question. I was going to get to that in just a second on the debt question, Tim. Okay, so a round of investigations from mailing it out to having result letters in your hands takes on average 45 days per cycle. You don't want to ask about more than 1 or 2 aspects of an account at a time. Don't go, the account number and this 30-day and over here this thing and that. Don't ask more than 2 things on an account. Now, you can ask about 5 accounts and 2 things each, right? But don't ask about 10 things on one account, because they will deem your letter frivolous, and it's within their rights to do so, and they won't do the investigation. Now a whole bunch of time was wasted on top of it. So you're going to pick out, first of all, the most wrong things and ask that, or the most negative things, and you're going to ask about that. So the round 1, you might have a Capital One that's got a 30-day late, and you're going to question the account number. So you say, I need you to verify that this is 30-day late, and I need you to verify the account number. That's a perfectly reasonable investigation letter, okay? And if they do verify the number and do verify the late, you're going to ask about something else. I need you to validate the date of last activity and the account balance. 27 different options. In theory, you could do 13 rounds of investigations with 2 aspects per round and never ask the same question twice, okay? So that's how the investigations are done. Now you're going to say, Jeremy, what do I write in the investigation letters? I'm going to do a thing entirely on letters, okay? But for the meantime, if you go to the files section of the group and go into the file that's called Pro Tip, it's a step-by-step instructions on a self-driven credit repair, you'll see a link in that for something called thedisputewizard.com. Thedisputewizard.com. You can make an account on it. You don't even have to buy the credit monitoring, but if you want to, there's a link to my800credit.com on there too. You can just do it through there, and then you're doing everything at once, and it's easy. Dispute Lizard I love that. The disputewizard.com has a letter vault of free investigation letter templates for you. Hey, Cheryl. Yes, you may. Yeah, go ahead and send that to me, Cheryl. So go to www.thedisputewizard.com disputewizard.com. TheDisputewizard.com. And you got to register to get the free letter templates. It's worth it. Number one, they're free. Number two, if you're going to buy yourself a credit monitoring, they got a link to do it right there, and you can actually link it to it. And then the Dispute Wizard the Dispute Wizard's an AI engine, is an artificial intelligence engine that will read your credit report through my800credit.com, populate the letters, and all you have to do is go print. It's sick. Otherwise, if you don't want to do that and you're doing the free annual credit, then just print out the letter templates. They won't be auto-populated, but we'll trust that you're smart enough to write things in where they're supposed to go or to type things in. So go to the disputewizard.com. It's a place to get to my800credit.com because they work with them also. And it has free, but you don't have to buy squat. You don't have to buy anything. You go to disputewizard.com, register, and in the lower right-hand corner of where you're going to pay for things, you can skip that step, skip connecting credit reporting. And it's just free. I like the tool, man. I think it's sick. I love what AI can do. AI is mind-blowing. Artificial intelligence is mind-blowing, and I've never seen anything that works like this thing. We're starting to use it and rolling out a DIY product with it. So you can hire us for full service where we do everything and coach you and stuff, or we'll have this like guided AI DIY. But yeah, disputewizard.com. The disputewizard.com is incredible. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Cheryl. Yeah, Cheryl just got her house. It's awesome. So you go into the file sections, hit up the file called Pro Tips. You'll find lots of good advice on there about this disputing, investigating. And then if you go to thedisputewizard.com, that'll give you access to either hook your My800 credit up. I mean, you can subscribe to it right then and hook it up and make the letter writing even easier, or else just get free templates that you can copy. But they're good professional templates. All right. So I'm the bearer of good news and bad news. The good news is this works. 86% of all credit reports hold significant errors. Okay? That's a study that was done by the bureaus themselves. They basically said, we suck. It's unbelievable. 86% of all credit reports contain incorrect information. On top of that, there's unverifiable. Cheryl Wheeler, good to see you. There's unverifiable info. So that this is going to work. The thing is, it's not going to be a one and done deal. You didn't get in credit trouble overnight. You're not getting out of credit trouble overnight. That's just welcome to reality. But 2 rounds, 3 rounds, 4 rounds of doing this, asking different things each time, you're going to be real happy with how it happens. And Cheryl will tell you, Cheryl just closed on her home. We helped her directly at Credilife. Yeah, please follow my advice. It works. Credilife's even got reviews from people who never hired us that just got advice from the group, but they felt and they got their homes and stuff. They were so excited. They went on Google and reviewed us. It's like, oh my God, that's like, I don't even know what that is. Yeah, it's cool. All right. So the investigation process, do we understand it? And if you don't remember it all, that's okay. That's why I'm doing video, so you can go back and watch it again when it's done. So that's head to tail. How to repair your credit. Tim asked me a question. So Midland or LVNV or Portfolio Recovery, all these collection companies out there, if you get them deleted from your credit report the right way with letters, there is one way they can come back. It's like this. If you've got ABC credit report or ABC collections, pardon me, on your credit report, and you get them deleted, but you don't satisfy the debt, you don't call them up and settle them, they can always sell to XYZ Collection Company. And XYZ Collection Company, it's well within the law for them to report. So the question becomes, what do we do? Well, this is why credit monitoring is also important, right? The my800credit.com. Once it's deleted from your credit report, settle it or set up a payment arrangement. They can't report fresh activity because you're making payments. They already lost the right to do that. Or if it's outside the statute of limitations to take action, ignore them. There's a lot of good things you can do. All right, that's repairing credit. That's how to repair it from top to bottom. One of the things I'm going to do maybe next week, I think a good like episode 2 to what we did tonight would be, here's the deal. Think of your credit as a boat, okay? If you're in a boat, you're sitting in a boat, you're in the middle of the lake, you got the anchor down, right? And you're sitting in the boat, it's a beautiful day on the water, and you decide you want to move. So what do? You get rid of that boat anchor, right? You get rid of that boat anchor, that thing that's holding you back. You take that up, you put it in the boat. Now nothing's holding you back. And then you sit back in that boat, and you're still in the same place, aren't you? Or just kind of drifting aimlessly. That's because you've done nothing to move forward. If we slap a motor on the back of that boat, we've now done two things. We've taken away the thing that stops us from moving, and we've added the thing that gives us the motion, that gives us the movement. So next week, I am going to talk about how to build your credit. So we talked about deleting the bad, elimination of the bad. Next week, I'm going to talk about what a good credit profile looks like, what balances and balance to limit ratios to use on credit cards, what a perfect credit card and an account profile looks like. And we're going to talk about the FICO algorithm and building your credit. So it's going to be eliminate the negative, build the positive, and then last we'll talk about collections. That'll be dealing with the money where it lives. So we'll talk today. Today was repairing your credit, repairing it. Taking away the bad. That's today. Eliminate the negative. Next week's going to be build the positive, right? Account management, development, the boat motor, the thing that moves you forward. And then at the end, we'll talk about how to deal with the collections. Now, I'm going to put in a wonderfully shameless plug. If you're watching this and you'd like Credilife to work for you, we are an A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau. A+ rated company that's been in business for 10 years now, okay? I, as a credit coach, have been in credit and banking for 28 years. 7 of the people at our company are FICO certified. That means we're certified in the algorithm, the math formula that actually makes your FICO score. So if I say, hey, you got to open this card, just spend this, do this, open that account over there, a lot of times the client will say to me, because you might be in desperation, it's been frustrating, or you've tried other credit repair companies before. They'll look at me and go, Jeremy, do you think it'll work? Do you know what I always say? No. It doesn't matter what I think. It doesn't. It's a math formula. It's an algorithm. If I don't think that 2 plus 2 equals 4, but maybe I think 2 plus 2 equals 11, it doesn't freaking matter because 2 plus 2 equals 4. FICO is math. It's gorgeous. So you're going to be hard-pressed to find one FICO-certified credit coach at any credit service organization in the country. We have 7. That says something. And so if you'd like to have professionals do the letters for you, go after the aspects, we've got the experience. We know how to do this. And it sounds bad, but we're going to be better at you than you at it. Which is like my plumber is going to be way better at fixing my plumbing than if I pretend I'm Mario Brothers and start hammering it. You know what I mean? It's the same reason my water heater went out. My wife, I watched all these YouTube videos on how to do it. I was going to save all this money, and my wife stopped me, and she goes, "So Jeremy, you're going to be working with electric, with gas, and with water?" I went, "Uh huh." She goes, "You're going to blow the frickin' house up. You're somehow going to drown and electrocute yourself at the same time." She goes, "Hire a frickin' professional." So if you would like to hire a professional to help you out along the path, or even just hire us for coaching, what we do at Credilife, we do an initial consultation at no cost. There's no obligation to sign up or anything. And what we do is I'll talk to you about what's going on with your credit, talk about your goals, and then put together a plan and steps and action items, things that can be done to get you there. And then if any of our services are appropriate, I'll tell you what they are. And if it sounds like it fits you, we'll get you enrolled right there. To book a consultation directly with me, to book a consultation directly on my calendar, you pick the side. I got days, evenings, I even got some weekend time slots available. You got to go to a website. It's www.bookcoachjeremy.com. Bookcoachjeremy.com. That's book, B-O-O-K, coach, C-O-A-C-H, Jeremy, Jeremy.com. Bookcoachjeremy.com. And you can pick a day, an evening, even a Saturday morning that works for you for a no-cost telephone consultation. There's no cost. There's no obligation. Why is there no cost? I haven't done anything yet. We're old school. We get paid after we do work. Go figure. A little bit of a modern concept or an antiquated concept, or I don't know, we're bringing sexy back. So go to www.bookcoachjeremy.com, set up a time, schedule that consultation, and, we'll see if Credilife's the right thing for you, to hire us professionally. A lot of people have. Cheryl just gave you a firsthand testimonial live right here in the chat. That's an option for you. But again, to reiterate, to get your credit report for free, just Google free annual credit report. You can get an Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion for free. They're going to read really terribly, and they're all separated from each other in different formats, but the cost is awesome. If you want good quality credit monitoring, my800credit.com. It's $21.99 a month. It gives you a full 3-bureau report every single month. It's all concise, easy to read. The data's right there. And it's the one we use professionally because it gives all 27 aspects of the account. You can see the changes month over month. It's got $1 million ID theft protection. And if you get it just to start your project and cancel it, hey, do that. Save money. Otherwise, if you get it and keep it, I've had mine for, 4 years now. I want to know what's going on with my credit. I write mine off my taxes as a financial planning expense. Your mileage may vary. Talk to your tax advisor. But for good credit monitoring, my800credit.com. For free dispute letter templates, and please share this info with people. Free dispute letter templates, go to www.thedisputewizard.com. You can get the free templates. You can even sign up for the My800 credit there because they have a partnership. And then if you'd like to book a consultation directly with me, maybe you want to have me be your coach. And by the way, if you think this is fun tonight and educational tonight, you've got no idea what's all trapped up here. When I put it to action for you, you're going to do good. If you want to book a consultation, by the way, I'm real modest. That's one of my finest qualities. I am real direct and blunt. I don't sugarcoat. I always say, you're not always going to like what I have to say, but there's a reason I'm the coach. I'm going to get the best out of you. If you want to book a consultation directly with me, go to www.bookcoachjeremy.com. Pick a day, an evening, or even a weekend. No cost for the consultation because I haven't done anything yet. No obligation. And it'll be a call. I don't judge because there's nothing we can't undo actually we can undo some of the past. We can't make the past never happen, right? So we're just looking forward. Everyone gets in trouble. Oh, I screwed up because I wasn't paying attention. I was young and dumb, or I had this happen, or I made bad choices, or I had something outside of my control happen. Maybe it was death of the family, job loss, COVID. There's so much, There's so much. I have a lot of clients directly in Florida who've been slaughtered by some hurricanes. And I was in the industry back during Katrina. And I've done, I've gone over and above and done some stuff. I did some special lives and things like that to help people, head off at the past before things became collections and stuff like that. But anyway, I'm going all over the place. If you want to book a consult directly with me, www.bookcoachjeremy.com. Importantly, follow me on TikTok, Credit Coach Jeremy. You can follow me on, I'm on YouTube. I'm all over the place. Follow Jeremy.credit on Facebook. Check the video, the file, or check the file section for advice here in the group, in the free credit repair advice group. Gosh, there's so many resources, you guys. This group, if you dig around in here, it's really robust. I'd say stay active. Make sure you turn on notifications because I promise you Facebook will throttle you and you won't see all the good stuff. And don't forget to join me FICO certified credit coach. Thornton, good to see you. FICO certified credit coach Jeremy Deysach. I'm here every Wednesday night at 8 Eastern, 7 Central, 6 Mountain, 5 Pacific. Tonight was how to repair your credit from top to bottom. I'm going to go home because, as you can say, I don't live in my car, I promise you. I'm going to go home, and I'm going to put this video on replay a couple times and make sure it gets added to the file section so you guys can watch it again if you want. Feel free afterwards, if you're watching this on repeat, again, welcome and thank you. Feel free to make comments in the comment section, and I will respond even when it's a replay, even when it's in the file section. I get notified that one of my videos has comments. I go back and I reply. So you can even ask me credit questions there 3 weeks from now, and you're going to get a reply. That's the free credit repair advice. That's our mission. Our mission is to teach you the class you'd never learned in high school. Our mission is to end the generational curse. For those of you who know what that is, we want to build generational wealth. Every time, I say this all the time, and Cheryl will tell you I say this all the time. Every time I do my job right, a kid gets a backyard to play in. That's how I look at what I do. 95% of the people I work with, their biggest goal is home ownership. If you're looking or thinking or wanting to at some point in time get in the market to buy a home, again, you might want to have a consultation with me. Wow, that was a lot. All right, you guys. I just talked for an hour sitting in my car. I hope you soaked it in. You guys, Tim, thanks for all the involvement. Cheryl, awesome stuff. The quilt is freaking gorgeous. I'm so proud of you for your home. Tim, make sure to hang in, become a subscriber on all this stuff. And again, you guys, join me every Wednesday night, 8 Eastern, 7 Central, 6 Mountain, and 5 Pacific time. Awesome, Tim. Sounds good, man. I look forward to talking to you. By the way, if you know anybody who can use this advice, this is a private group, so you can't share this video. If someone you know could potentially take advantage of this, invite them to the group. Add them to the group. And there's something kind of nice about that, because then people can't see each other's business. Everyone in here, it's like a giant support group. Everyone in here is in here for a couple very obvious reasons, and so it's not judgy. And if someone does judge you, tag me. I can be nasty. All right, kids. I had an awesome time. Thank you guys for joining. Thank you all for watching. I appreciate each and every one of you. Join the free credit repair advice group. I'm Jeremy Deysach. I'll see you.